lions on foot now, and a few hundred meters behind us is some buffalo. And we're not going to stay very long here because these guys are probably trying to ambush that buffalo at this waterhole. And they know that they must come and drink. So just to be respectful to them, we're going to move out of the area and allow them to hunt successfully, or neither to disturb the buffalo in any way or push the buffalo by accident towards them. We're just going to quickly see if I can get a better view of them. And then from there on, we're going to give them the space that they need. In general, we find that lion can either be very aggressive towards you and then they will run off, but if you bump them at close range, see here's their tracks in front of us and they were probably lying up here. But we also find that if they see you well in advance, they actually just tend to move away from you. And we're just going to move on to this area over here. There's a bit more open. So what I've also made sure is that there's sufficient amount of cover between me and these lions that they don't really see us, as well as that we don't unnecessarily disturb them. So for those of you that have never walked lions before, it's incredibly important that you never ever run from a cat. They're incredibly fast. Just to give you an idea, they can do some 88 kilometers per hour, which is approximately 22 meters per second that they will cover. So if you do find yourself in a wilderness area where you do get charged or confronted by a lion, stand still and don't run. And if they do chase you, it's just simply a case of shouting at them, and generally that will stop that. It might actually take you several times to shout at them before they actually move off. With them you can make eye contact, but it's very different when you're working with leopard. If you do ever find or bump a leopard, just make sure that you actually don't make eye contact with it. And where we would normally walk backwards away from lion, in this case, you rather walk sideways away with leopard. As it will see, as there's a weakness when you walk away from them. Just want to see if we can get another glimpse of them. They're just 100 meters or so in front of us. There's a few of them that's moving down the drainage line. So for those of you that also have, there we go, we're just going to put through the vegetation there. You can just see some of them disappearing there. I don't want to push them because they've already ran, but there's one that's still looking at us. And when they do run away from them, we actually barely see them from the front, but there we go. You can see those little black ears popping up. And that's the first time that I actually saw them this morning, is when they turned around and I saw the black ears. It's just amazing how well they actually camouflage in this brown grass at the moment. I'm going to try and get one last view and then we're going to leave them. And then we'll go and rather have a look at our buffalo. We're just going to make our way back to the vehicle maybe, and then see if we can get the vehicle and then view them from the vehicle. We decided to actually opt for the vehicle and view them from the vehicle instead of disturbing them, as I've noticed that there was a large number of tracks for cubs as well. And you never want to really upset a female with cubs because they can very quickly charge you. And we also don't want to disturb them in terms of their success of attempting to hunt on the buffalo. They're most likely looking at the herd, seeing if there's any sick, injured or weak individuals. I'm just going to be dead quiet and let you enjoy the lions. I just can't believe how many small ones is in this group. It's just absolutely amazing how many cubs is here. One of the features that you'll most likely notice on many of the small cubs is a large amount of spots. If you compare them to the adults, and those spots will disappear as if they become older, and that little spots help them that they actually blend in with dappled sunlight when they're actually hiding underneath vegetation, making it hard for other predators to see them so that they can heal themselves We often find that lion cubs are outcompeted by other predators such as well as leopard. I've even known where leopard cubs as what So for these little lions, they have to keep up with the adults. So what we often also find is that they're incredibly small. The adults will actually go out and make a kill, and then they'll come and fetch the cubs to come and feed once they have been at the point where they can start feeding on solids. Some of the cubs already are weaned by 2 months. Some of them drink milk for much longer, although roughly at 2 months they can start feeding on solids. So for a lion cub, you have to keep up. There's very little mercy if you don't. Otherwise you will be neglected and left behind. I also find it incredibly fascinating with group dynamics when it comes to big prides like this. And we'll quite often notice that they will actually compete against one another for access to food. And quite often the weakest individuals in those group are the ones that get the least. The most aggressive, largest ones, they are the ones that will get the most. We just have another male that's coming directly from behind us, and we just want to see if we can pop out. So definitely is a pride male in this group as well, and quite often we find that the males will actually follow the females. He's just behind the vegetation over here. He's going to come right up into the open now, and what they do is they simply wait for them to make a kill. However, it's often believed that males don't hunt, which is entirely untrue. They do hunt. They can make their own kills, but if somebody else can do the job for you, why not? A few interesting things how you can separate males from females, and I'm sure most of you know this already, is that the males have got manes. And the larger the mane, the more dominant the individual, and the more likely a female is actually to choose that specific male. Good afternoon and welcome back to Pridelands. We are just about to start our bushwalk, but decided that we're going to quickly pop in with a vehicle at the area where we left the lions this morning. It's no surprise with the temperatures being 37 degrees Celsius, and they're precisely where we left them this morning. So my name is JP LaRue, and behind the camera we've got BK. So for those of you that are interested in the total number of lions that is in this pride at the moment, we managed to count 21 by the time that we left here this morning. There's a large amount of young cubs in this group from a number of different age groups. There's a few more of the cubs that are all scattered over around this area, all in the shade. What you'll notice is as the sun starts moving slightly further north and west, these animals will start moving and then just reposition as the shade starts being created on the opposite end of a tree. That's the only movement that you will see out of them for the next few hours. I always find it quite interesting when they do get up, they barely will move a meter and then just simply flop down on top of somebody else. What I will never be able to understand is that in incredible heat conditions like this, that lions will go and lie right on top of one another. I can't think of it being comfortable. So these lions will probably only start going active roughly an hour to 2 hours after the sun is set, especially on a warm day like this, as that they don't want to waste any unnecessary energy by trying to move in the heat. I would think that their plan would be to start following up on the buffalo that they left this morning, as they already wounded one of the buffalo, and then we could see that one of the cows that are pregnant has a few claw marks on the back of her buttocks, as well as a bite mark very close to the reproductive areas, as they most likely try to drag it down. It's obvious that the buffalo has fought back and drove the lions off, but I'm sure they would like to try again. Just to give you a rough plan, what we'll be doing from here is once we've viewed them for a short while, we'll be going to one of the dams for this afternoon, and then we'll start our walk from there. We'll most likely be sitting around the dam for quite a while as the temperatures are quite hot, and we would rather like to try and get the animals to come towards us and come and drink than that we go and unnecessarily try and find them in the middle of the heat of the day. I'm sure these guys will also be heading to one of the dams close by for a drink later on this afternoon. Once the sun has set, what we often find as well is once lions have often eaten, that they will go to water holes as well. So the first thing I normally look for when I do find a pride of lions is to assess if they actually have eaten or not, because that will assist me in terms of determining where they will be heading next. So far, the stomachs were all looking empty when we did look at it earlier on this morning. There's a few things of interest what we can point out with a number of lions. If we do pan in on the noses, you'll see that the noses of the adults are incredibly dark in color, while the younger individuals have more pink on their noses. The pink will progressively disappear as the lion comes close by to adulthood. We're going to hang around here a little bit longer in case anybody would like to give them another view, or if there's any questions that you have about lions that you would like us to answer, and then we'll pop off to where we would like to start our walk. Let's go and see what the others are up to. We're still with the vehicle watching our lions and seeing what they're getting up to. As far as I knew, they're just going to rest, and that's what they're going to do because they just simply want to conserve energy. It's actually quite interesting to sit and watch them and watch how they start moving as the sun has now come around that corner. A few of them has actually moved off and went to go and plonk themselves into other positions or right on top of other individuals. It's even more funny to watch them when their bellies are full and they're breathing so uncomfortably and they're lying on their backs with their feet up in the air. The reason why they often do that is when we do see them after a big meal doing that is purely because the stomach pushes against the diaphragm and they're battling to breathe. And therefore, because they're so uncomfortable, they have to lie on their backs. It's amazing how much they can eat. A full-grown adult lion, male lion, can approximately push away anywhere between 35 and 40 kilograms of meat with a single sitting. It's also amazing that their stomachs are so extendable. And quite often when they're emaciated, we'll see that it forms a very narrow waist. And then once the stomach is full, how quickly it can expand. As mentioned earlier, it's normally one of the first things that I do look at, because if we do want to look for lions and we do know that they made a kill, the next move is normally to go towards water, because they do need a large amount of water to actually assist with the digestion of the protein inside the stomach. These guys, they're not going to go anywhere, other than most likely going to look for this buffalo later on tonight once it's cooled down.